I say hello, people of the world. How you're doing today? Yes, as you can see, there is a baby crying here. This is Nyasha, guys, but I don't know if you can see him. That is Nyasha.
This is love, sweet love, coming from the bottom of my heart. It's Nyasha and Nana.
He is just over 2 weeks old. Yeah, guys, so I thought I would come and let you know my labor and delivery story. By now, I've probably already released my labor story, but yeah, labor and delivery story. My waters broke around 5 on a Tuesday a.m, 5 something a.m, and basically that's what woke me up. And okay, I'm going to be rocking back and forth because we're trying to keep this one chilled. So yeah, my waters broke, it woke me up, and then I was like, oh, I'm sure that was my waters, let me go to the toilet. So I went to the toilet, lo and behold, a little bit more trickled out, and then my mucus plug came, and I was like, I know this feeling way too well. This is my mucus plug. I think I have started labor. Yeah, so then I was like, oh damn. From what I remember last time, my waters didn't break. My mucus plug came out, but my waters didn't break. So I was like, oh, this is a little bit different. So then I was like, oh, okay, cool. Let me just go and tell Nyasha. I was like, oh, should I wake him up? Should I not? Should I wake him up? We both went to bed really, really late. So, tiredness is real after having a newborn. So yeah, I wasn't sure if I should wake him up or not wake him up. Anyway, after deliberating, I decided to wake him up. I'm gonna take him out of this. Yeah, so I was deliberating, should I wake Nyasha up, should I not? So I eventually thought, okay, cool, I'll wake him up. So I went and I woke him up, and then I was like, Nyasha, I was half asleep. Nyasha, as he usually does. And then eventually woke him up, then I said, oh, by the way, my waters broke. And I was like, oh, by the way, my waters are broken. He was like, because he was still half asleep. He was like, oh my gosh, I need to take my brother so he can come and get Nathaniel, blah, blah. I was like, no, it's like 5:30. Like, why do you want to disturb your brother and wake him up? Look how early it is. I was like, allow it, don't do that. I don't call your brother. And then, yeah, let him sleep, blah, blah, blah. And then he ignored me anyway. He messaged him saying, oh, bro. I don't know what he said to him. I can't remember. So that happened. And then I was like, oh my gosh, Nyasha, I'm not ready. I had plans to do my hair. There's little bits and bobs I needed to buy. Although the bag is like sufficiently packed, like is enough for a newborn to survive a few days. Like we've got a few essentials, but I still wanted like extra things to put in there in my bag and all these things and stuff. So I was like, oh no, like I'm not fully prepared, like it's too early, I needed to do my hair. Even the night before I was like, Nyasha, should I do this hairstyle? So anyway, I decided to, if anything, let me go and proceed to do my hair. So I went to do 2 K-rays in my hair, and as I was doing the hair, it was getting stronger. It was getting stronger and stronger, these contractions. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I forgot I missed a bit out. So I was like, okay, you know what? Before I started my hair, I was like, let me phone the hospital. Because the only difference with this time and last time is the fact that my waters actually broke, and I know that when your waters break, you're at a risk of infection. The second thing is I was 36 weeks pregnant, so technically my baby was classed as premature, so I didn't know if the pathway was actually different to a full-term baby. So I called them, they were like, oh yeah, come in. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm okay at the moment. So at that time I had like period pains, kind of cramp. I was like, oh, I'm okay at the moment. I'm just gonna drop my son off to nursery at 8 o'clock and then I'll come in. So they're like, oh, we think you should come in so we can check you over, and especially because you're preterm as well. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. But if anything changes, just make sure you come in. I was like, yeah, it's fine. I'll probably drop my son and come in, you know, because I was like, I didn't want to disturb anyone. So then, yeah, so back to doing my hair. So I decided to do my 2K Rose fish plaits. So as I was doing it, it was getting stronger and stronger. And then I was like, oh, Nyasha, I think these contractions are getting stronger. So he got out a contraction app and he downloaded it and started timing it. And then as time progressed, like I couldn't speak through them. It was getting a bit more painful. But I was like, I will finish this hair. I will finish this hair. Can you imagine? At the beginning, I was thinking I was going to do like fat braids extensions. Because I was like, yeah, it'll be a while. And then I was like, no, Nana, that is not wise. Just do the most simplest style and just look decent. So I did that and I put on eyelashes because we're trying to look cute. And because last time with Nathaniel, I put on eyelashes after labour. The eyelash was like there, one was there. So I was like, no, this time I'm going to look cute. So yeah, I put on my eyelashes. I even wanted to do full face of makeup, but I said the way this pain's going, I'm not sure I'll get through full face of makeup. So then I decided, you know what, let's leave the makeup. At least you got eyelashes, you're looking decent, your face is looking decent, you know, like puffs in my cheeks, but it's okay. So that happened, and then afterwards I was like, oh, Nyasha, I think we have to go to the hospital because this contraction is like getting stronger. And meanwhile, let me call him to tell his bit actually. Nyasha? Nyasha? Do you want to come and tell your bit about like getting stuff ready? So basically I go to the bit where I was basically having contractions and you downloaded the app. You downloaded the app and then obviously you're rushing around like a hellish chicken.
Yeah, so I don't know how far Nana's got, but...
I just told you.
Yeah, but
I
told everything.
Well, I haven't told the whole story. I just got to when I told you you were counting my contractions and meanwhile you were trying to get everything ready. So
yeah, so we'd ordered a new car seat. And the problem was our old car seat for Nathaniel had it was old, and the problem was that the new one was coming, it wasn't there yet. So now I basically had to go take the old one out of the garage. To be honest, now that I think about it, that was all a waste of time. But yeah, went to go get the old one from the garage. Put the stuff on top, but I couldn't figure out how to put the stuff on top. So that was one of the tasks that I had to do. The next task that I had to do was trying to get my older brother to come get Nathaniel. Obviously, Nana had said, don't call him. And then from upstairs, she's like, no, call him. He needs to come right now. If he doesn't come now, he needs to meet us at the hospital. If he does, like,
why are you doing it like that? No, that's not what happened. So basically, obviously I said as I said it earlier, I was like, no, don't call him, but Nyasha had already texted him. I can't remember what he texted him. And then afterwards I was like, yeah, can you ask your brother to come actually, because the contractions are getting stronger.
Yes.
And then afterwards I was like, how far is he? Yeah. And then Nyasha called him and he was like 9 minutes away.
No.
I was like, 9 minutes. I was like, I'm not waiting 9 minutes.
You've missed a few parts. Before I called him, you told me, before I called my brother, I had told him to come already. So she called me and said, no, we need to go now. So I was like, okay, let me get my brother to come to the house. So I was thinking by the time Nana finishes doing all her stuff upstairs,
I'm just doing my hair.
And by the time I get Nathaniel's bag ready, that was another thing that I was doing. I was doing Nathaniel's bag because we had done everyone else's bag. So Nana had done her bag, Baby had done his bag, or Nana had done Baby's bag. And all that was left was Nathaniel. So Nathaniel had no clothes to go to my brother's house. So now we're like, okay, I need to pack Nathaniel's bag. So now I'm packing his bag. At the same time, I'm doing the car seat. At the same time, I'm also doing, trying to organize for someone to pick him up. And
then also, so you know, I was saying like I wasn't ready. Like the things that I wasn't ready was like the electrics and snacks. Yeah. So like iPad, phone, camera, all that kind of stuff.
All those things I was getting ready because I was thinking, oh, if Nana's giving birth today, I need to have like music ready and all that stuff. I wanted to even create a playlist. I didn't even get a chance to do playlists.
Yeah, we even bought, because we wanted we'll go by the whole hypnobirthing route. So we even bought like fake candles that we didn't even use. It's still in the box.
And I bought a speaker that at least I use. It's coming in handy. But I bought a speaker for the music, but we didn't get to use it. Or yeah, the thing was so quick. So yeah, so now we go through that whole process. So I've got all the stuff ready. Now we get into the car. And I'm like, I'm trying to buy time because I know my brother was on his way. He had done like 10 to 12 minutes. And now Nana's like, no, we need to go now. We need to go like right this second. And in my head, I was like, okay, the one thing I didn't want, and I prayed to God, I said, this baby, I don't want the baby to be born in the car.
Can you imagine if we went to the other hospital that was further away, I would have had the baby in the car. Do you think I would have?
Yes, you would have had the baby.
I might have not, actually.
You would have had the baby
Because it would have been more motorway, so maybe it would have been...
You were telling me to stop even on the motorway.
Anyway,
let me continue.
Yes.
So, now... So we get into the car. I was trying my hardest to slow everything down. My brother, I called my brother. He says 9 minutes. Nana's like, we need to go now.
I was like, I'm not waiting 9 minutes.
But then now the thing was, I was like, oh, I need to go get the chargers from in the house. So I went back into the house, tried by like 2-3 minutes. Then I get back into the car. I'm like, okay, I need to buy some more time. But you know, I'm this is risky out here, you know, because the baby could be born any second. But I'm like, okay, you know what? Nana, let's just wait. He's only 5 minutes away. Then what I decided to do was, instead of going the quicker route to the hospital, I was like, you know what, let me go a route where we go past where he's going, where he's coming from. So now,
Can you imagine when I was in labour, look at what I was thinking of.
Yeah, because someone had to take Nathaniel.
Yeah, he could have come to the hospital, but carry on.
No, but the hospital was like 50 minutes for him. Because it's close to us, but it's 50 minutes for him to go there.
But what was more important, me giving birth or your brother coming 50 minutes?
At that point,
exactly.
At that point, I'm in too much.
Anyway,
and plus, I'm tired. And plus, I should have called my brother at the beginning when I told Nana.
Carry on.
Lucky enough, I texted him and said, yo, right at the beginning of the night, I said, as soon as Nana told me, I said, just to let you know, you might have to come and take Nathaniel. So he was kind of prepared for it. So now we meet him. Luckily, we meet him just at the top of our road. Like, literally, we're just driven out. And then he said, oh, yeah, I'm around the corner. So now I stop the car. I take out all Nathaniel stuff, put it into his car. And then now we start the journey. Now begins this long journey. And where my hand was nearly broken.
Oh, my days.
So we go ahead. We start driving. And our road, the road, because we live on country roads. Like, the roads are terrible. Like,
yeah,
literally
they're tiny, they got potholes.
Tiny potholes, bumps, they're not like level road. So Nana was like, oh my gosh, can you drive slower? So a road that I usually drive, so this journey usually takes us like 20 to 25 minutes, maybe even less if I'm driving at my normal speed. So the road that I'm meant to be driving at 60, I'm driving at like 25.
Oh my days, I feel like that's an exaggeration.
It's not an exaggeration because I was driving at 25 and you told me I was driving fast. So now we get to 25 miles an hour, and at every point that she has contractions, actually, when we left the house, Nana's contractions were roughly every 3 minutes, which is true sign that you need to go to the hospital, and they were going for about a minute long plus. So now I was like, okay, we need to go. So we're driving, and at every contraction that Nana has, she tells me to stop the car. So at any point, like, doesn't matter where I am in the road, she says stop, put the hazards on, and so I'm like, okay,
mate, I didn't care. I was like, I'm pregnant, I'm in pain, everyone else can wait.
Yeah. So now she starts grabbing my hand, she squeezes my hand like this. At some point, she said that she wanted resistance, so she pushed my hand while holding my hand like this and about to break it. She pushed my hand against the steering wheel. My hand was like this, and you know us men, we're just firming. I'm like, I'm gonna firm it. Ah! My hand's about to break, but I'm firming it. So,
was it gonna break?
It was Nana. You could have broken my hand.
Okay.
Anyways, so, and we were on the motorway I'm driving, she's like, you have to stop, and she's getting upset with me because I'm not stopping. I'm like, but there's a car behind me, I can't just stop, just like, she's like, no, pull up on the side. So, pull up on the side. So this journey that's usually 20 to 25 minutes was like 40 minutes plus, maybe even an hour.
You told the truth this time.
Maybe even
You've been
an
saying in an hour, it was like double, not like an hour. But anyway, carry on.
It was like an hour. So my brother came to pick up Nathaniel at 7 o'clock. So that's the time he got to pick him up. We got to the hospital at like 8 o'clock.
Just before 8, I think.
Okay, it was just before 8 then. So, anyways, moving on. So it took us about an hour to get there, and then when we get there, I'm like a headless chicken. I don't even know what to do. You know when you're tired.
Let me tell you what happened.
Wait, can I finish? I know when we get inside, you can tell that part. But before, yeah. So I'm here at the hospital. I'm like, is there no one who can meet us at the? Do they not see my wife is suffering? But
It's so late.
yeah, and so I'm here. I'm like, oh, who do I talk to? Who do I talk to? Nana's not at this point. She just opened the car door and she has her head on the car on the chair,
Like I was
and
leaning on the
and
seat.
she's leaning on it, and I'm like, is she about to have the baby outside? We're just
No,
here.
do you know what it was?
She just needs to get inside.
The breeze was so nice. I was so comfortable and I didn't want to move. Like, I was
yeah.
just so comfortable.
While she was saying,
like-
while she was driving, she was actually saying that she couldn't breathe properly. She said she wasn't getting enough air.
Yeah. So when I got there, the breeze, like fresh air was just coming and I was just like, oh, this is just perfect for me. I'm not moving. So I think I had 2 contractions in that position, and then Yash was like, we've got to go now. I was like, yeah, I know, but it's just hard to move.
So
Anyway.
then I helped her walk.
Yeah,
We then get in the hospital, and that's when.
Yeah, we get in the hospital, right? And then they're taking our temperature. Well, they're about to take my temperature, but obviously they can't because, you know, I'm in a state. And then someone brings a wheelchair, and then someone's like, "You alright?" And then Yasha goes, "Yeah, it's my wife. She's pregnant." And then there's 2 ladies.
That wasn't even the order.
Whatever order it was,
happened.
right?
It happened
And
before.
then
Before the wheelchair and all that stuff came.
Okay, before the wheelchair came, they're like, "You're right." And then Nyasha's like, "Yeah, my wife's pregnant." And the 2 ladies, they weren't there. They were laughing like, "Yeah, we can see." It's like, who says that? But anyway, obviously he was.
I'm tired. I'm in a
that's fine.
state. I just didn't know what to say. I was like, I need to get attention to my wife. So these people, I thought they worked there, and I think they did.
They did work there. Yeah, I saw that.
But they were just laughing anyways, and then they didn't realize that, you know, at this point I'm like, you know, this baby's about to come, because I remember how Nathaniel's birth was. When Nana's water broke, everything started going faster. So that's the one thing I had in mind. And then the next thing that I had in mind is that the way Nana's behaving is the same way when Nathaniel was about to come. So I was like, okay, Nana at the beginning of the labor, she was very calm and she was okay. She was even dancing. You can go back and look at the video of the first one. She was busy dancing. This one, she could not move. The girl was like, I just need to get out.
Fine, I had my eyelashes there, so I look cute.
Yeah. So now they come, they bring a wheelchair, they find a room for her, but everything was taking long. Nana's here, she's like,
no, they were like,
oh,
we need to just check you and check baby.
No, even before that, they put you in the room. Then she's like, oh.
Yeah, but that's what she put me in the room, and then she said,
left.
oh, we need to get some stuff to check you and check the baby.
Yeah,
and then they went.
for ages.
And I was like, why? Where are they gone? They were gone for like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are they doing? Like, can they not check me? Like, what is going on? They're taking
bear in
forever.
mind, this is now 8:10. It wasn't 15. It was about 10 minutes that she took. So 10 minutes. So this is 8:10. 8:10. So now she's in the room. She's like, oh, I need to observe her. But Nana is like, and this is where I remember.
I asked for gas and air. I was like, can I have gas and air? And then she was like, I can't give it to you because we don't know how far you are.
Yeah, before that. So basically, I always compare it with Nathaniel's pregnancy. There came a point during Nathaniel's labor that Nana was in a comfortable position and she didn't want to be moved. This was where Nana was at this point. She was like, don't move me. I'm happy where I am right now.
Don't move me though.
You didn't want to move. We're like, oh, can we move you? And you're like, no. And the other thing was, I was basically helping the midwife. I was a midwife for the night. I was the midwife for that. So here I was. So I was like, okay, Nana, we need to move you this way. We need to move you this way so the lady can check you. So she's putting all these bands around her to check her
baby's heartbeat.
To check baby's heartbeat. So heartbeat's fine. Now she needs to check Nana.
She wanted to put a monitor on the baby's head, but for some reason, because she couldn't hear the baby's heartbeat clearly, but I just didn't feel comfortable with it. Not for any particular reason.
I was gonna say no to it as well.
I knew about it because we remember the first antenatal class they told us, and I knew that it wasn't a bad thing. I just in that moment I just didn't want it, so I just said no.
She said to prick his head.
But then think about it.
That's what son said.
But they need to know the baby's heart is beating. She
Yeah, I
couldn't
know.
hear it. So anyway, in that moment, I just said no. Obviously, I don't know. I guess my
Anyways.
mother's instincts. I felt like he'd be
She
okay.
said she wouldn't have been able to do it anyways.
Yeah, because he had loads of hair. She would have struggled. But yeah, I was like, no, thank you. So I could still hear the baby's heartbeat. It's just that it wasn't loud or clear enough. It was a bit faint. But I was happy that I could still hear his heartbeat, and it was kind of fine. So I said no to it.
So now they now check her. They say, oh, she's only 5
5 centimeters. And I was like,
that's fine.
in my head, I was like, oh, that's halfway. Which way are we going?
No.
In my head, I was like, which way are we going? Are we
centimeters,
going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or the other way? But I was like, just give me gas in it. So then did she give me gas in it after? I can't remember.
No, she gave you gas in there before.
Before she checked me, because I looked like I was in pain.
Yeah, because at this point, because Nana was just like, just give me gas and air. Like, why are you taking long? Like, just give me gas and air. So now she gave her gas and air. And then now...
She checked me.
Yeah, then she checked her. So she checked her, she's like, oh, she's only 5 centimeters. And now this lady became calmer. Like, she just started being like, oh, yeah, don't worry, it's fine. I'm gonna go do something, and then she'll come back. So she left the room. Nana had another few contractions. She'll come back. Oh, did you have a contraction? Like, yeah, she did. Like, what? You
just had a few.
She's had a few. Then she goes back out. Then I'm like, oh, is everything okay? She goes out. Nana's now like, oh, she's like, I want morphine. What else did you ask for?
I said, can I have morphine or pethidine, please?
Yeah. And she said,
I was clued up, y'all. I was clued up. I knew what I wanted.
Anyways.
I was like, this is the stage where you give me morphine or pethidine, because it's probably about to get worse. And I just want the edge taken off a little bit, because I know that the gas in there is doing what it's supposed to do. But just, you know, I know that will take off the edge a little bit. So can you give me that, please?
The lady then asked her, oh, do you feel like pushing? Nana said, kasi
Yeah, I couldn't really talk.
So
bit of pain.
Then she's like, oh, yeah, because you feel like pushing, we can't give it to you.
Yeah, it's too late. I was just like...
Nana, I could feel Nana.
No, in my head, I was like, oh, whatever.
So now, a few seconds later, Nana's like, I'm like, what the heck? What did she do?
Let me tell you what's happening in my head. Yeah, in my head, I really wanted to talk, but I couldn't talk. I wanted to say to Nyasha and the midwife that, guys, either the baby's coming, or I need to do a really big poo. One of them. I was like, this time, because the first time I didn't feel like I needed to do a poo, you know? But this time I was like, either I really need to do a big poo because I've been constipated for a while and the poo's coming out, or the baby's head's coming. So I literally could not like help myself. My body just took over. It was like, yeah, start screaming.
So she starts screaming, and then I'm like,
pushing. Yeah.
So I'm like, I look at the lady and I'm like, sorry, is the baby coming out? Then she's like, she looks, she's like, no. She's like, yeah, no, nothing's there.
No,
like, it's probably a long time. It's probably a long time.
Because the baby
then I was
goes
like, yeah. She's like, yeah, the baby goes in and out. So yeah, she's probably got a while. Then I was like, oh, okay. But you know, just the way Nana was screaming, just sounded like something's coming soon. So now she finishes. Nana goes quiet because of the gas in there.
I love the gas in there. Oh,
and
it was just so beautiful. It was doing its job. I was literally like, do your job.
So now, a few minutes later, it wasn't even a few minutes, it might have been like 30 seconds. Like, ah! And this time it was long. And I'm like, are you sure there's no head?
Again, I was like, the head or the big poo?
So at this point, I'm like, are you sure there's no head? She looks and then she's like, oh, yeah, just the top of it. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Ah!
I'm gonna go actually
And then this point, she's like, oh, yeah, I can see the head. She presses the button. It was so funny because of how quick she was like, oh, I see the head. Press the button, and then now, next minute, I'm looking at it like, oh yeah, the baby's coming.
No, you were telling me breathe.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm like, breathe, breathe, go. Using the techniques that we learned. So she goes.
That's not what I did. We even have video evidence. I wasn't doing that. I was actually doing what you told me. I was literally doing. Wait. Oh, whatever it was, I was doing. I didn't hyperventilate.
Yes, you did. The video evidence will show.
Anyway.
So then she starts hyperventilating, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So I look at her, I look at the lady, and then I look back at Nana, I'm like, oh, it's okay, babe. It's okay, you're fine, you're fine. I look at the lady, she's got a baby in her hands. She's got a whole baby in her hands. I didn't even see anything. I just saw the baby in her hands. The baby's in her hands. I'm like, oh my gosh, the baby's out. So I started looking, because obviously I don't know the sex of the baby. So I'm not looking, oh, look at the sex, look at the. Okay, I can't see, I could see the umbilical cord. The umbilical cord obviously is what I could see. So I was like, oh, I can't really tell what the sex is yet. Then she's like, oh yeah. Then she starts, she wipes him a bit, and then she gives him to Nana. And then I look, and I'm like, oh, I started laughing.
He started laughing. So when he laughed, yeah, in my head I was like, oh, is he laughing because it's a girl? And then you went,
yeah, it's a boy. I said it's another Nathaniel.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, I'll have another boy. But I wasn't disappointed or anything, because I think throughout the pregnancy, although I have said all over my YouTube, all over my Instagram, all over the world that I wanted a girl, I think it got to a point halfway through where I thought, you know what, if I don't get I don't want to. I spoke to a friend who said that she had a girl. I mean, she wanted a boy and she had a girl, and she was really disappointed for like 2 weeks. I was like, oh no, I don't want that. And then I spoke to another girl who found out the sex, who wanted a girl, and she was like, oh, she's getting over the disappointment. And I was like, you know what, I don't want to feel like horrible or like disappointed when my baby comes. So I think halfway through the pregnancy, I kind of just accepted that it's 50-50. Although I did want a girl, I was just like, you know what, if I get a boy, it's fine. I still have clothes for Nathaniel, from Nathaniel's when he was a baby, you know, I don't have to change up the room, I don't have to decorate. So I was just like, you know what, if I have a healthy baby, I'm just grateful, and I thank God. And so I kind of got over the whole girl boy thing, although there was a bit of me that still wanted a girl. So I wasn't like disappointed or anything. I was just like, oh, I have a baby, yay, he's here. And then I was in Gassine, so I kind of was not quite there. Yeah, so I was just like, oh, relieved.
Yeah, so here's the testimony, right? So if you remember, I don't know if Nana's mentioned it already. No,
but the night before.
The night before.
No, so this is where the story turns into testimony, and then you understand his name.
Oh, the night before, Nana was saying that, oh, I feel a bit weird. The baby's not moving as much. And the baby, like, generally at nighttime, the baby's just rocking.
Literally, I get abused. My ribs are kicked. I'm literally thinking, this, any second now, a toe is about to come out. Like, this baby is coming out. That's how much I was getting kicked. I was being abused, like, my ribs, like, even like Nyasha was like, whoa, like, you're getting abused. So, like, the day before he was born, I felt reduced movements, and I was like, this doesn't feel right, because even like the day before that, I was like, there's movement, but it's very slow. And it's really weird, because up until this time, he's been really like vigorous and like kicking and stuff, and now he is moving, but it's really slow. So we were watching like Netflix till the morning, as you do, and I think it got to about just like after 1, and then Nyasha fell asleep on the sofa, and I was still watching Netflix, and then he woke up, and I was like, oh, you know what, I feel like I feel like slight reduced movements, but I don't know if it's all in my head. I don't know if I should bother people. Do you think we should go in and get checked? And Nyasha was like, I think it's fine, but I mean, you can get checked if you want us to get checked and stuff, just to confirm. And then I also, while I was doing that, out of nowhere, it wasn't even, I don't know how I saw this, but someone, you know, like Mumsnet or one of these forums where people comment and stuff, said, oh, go in early, save my baby's life, or something like that. And I think it rang a bell, and I was like, you know what, I'd rather go in and be checked and make sure that I'm okay, rather than feeling like I'm causing a nuisance. So I phoned the midwife, and she asked me questions, and then she was like, come in. And even then, like, she was a bit like, oh, all right, if that's how you feel, come in. So it made me feel like, oh, like I'm bothering them, kind of thing. But I was like, I'll never forgive myself if something was to go wrong and I never ever went in. So then, yeah, Karen grabbed Nathaniel.
Yeah, so we took Nathaniel,
like
took the bags. Yeah, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. around there. Took the bags and stuff, went into the car, drove to the place. Got to the place, and then they did a check. So they're like, oh, the heartbeat's fine. So bearing
in mind, he was born on Tuesday morning, around 8.
Yeah, this was Monday.
Yeah, this was Monday around like 2 a.m. Yeah.
So they said, oh, everything's fine.
They monitored me for like
her.
It's meant to be 30 minutes.
Me and Nathaniel were there till like 4:30.
Yeah, it was meant to be 30 minutes, but it wasn't printing like, I think it's like an electrocardiogram, like the baby's heartbeat and my heartbeat, but it wasn't printing. So they had to restart it like 3 times. So in the end, I got monitored for like an hour and a half, but the whole thing was about 2 hours. So then we were they were happy that the baby's heartbeat was fine.
Yeah. So they sent us home.
Yeah.
Just said, you know, if you still feel the same thing, come back tomorrow.
And if I was to come in again, they'll do the same thing, and then they'll book me for an ultrasound within 72 hours. So I got home, you know, we went to bed because it's like 4 a.m. Woke up, took Nathaniel to school. But throughout the day, I was like saying to Nyasha, you know what? I still feel like these movements are reduced. They're not like before.
Yeah.
So this is still the Monday, but I was like, you know what? We heard the heartbeat for an hour, 30 minutes, and he seemed okay. So maybe I should just trust that. But I still feel a bit funny about it. And then I thought, 72 hours for an ultrasound, that's like ridiculously long.
Yeah.
But I was thinking they should do it quicker, really.
We now go back home. Now obviously, as we said before, he was born the next day. So when he came out, and this is where it's deep, he came out, I looked, remember the baby just came out and it was in her hands, and he had his umbilical cord around his neck 3 times. So so she took it off. So when he came out, he was like, there was no sound. As soon as she took that off, like took the umbilical cord that was around his neck off, he started screaming. So he just let out like, wah! And then he stopped. So and then now when she actually said it, she was like, oh, did you see the umbilical cord around his neck 3 times? Then I was like, yeah, I saw it, but you know, like the baby's just out. I was just so happy. It didn't register to me. And then obviously when she did that, and then he started screaming and stuff, I was like, okay, yeah, he's fine. Like he's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with him. But it just goes to show you that this boy was saying, I need to come out to survive. Like this thing is around my neck. I'm a survivor. I'm a miracle. I'm coming out. And he came out. Nana's body at the same time was basically telling her, you know what, this baby needs to come out to preserve. So on top of that, this just goes to show you that, you know, God goes both ways. And when he wants your baby to be alive, your baby can be alive. Because a lot of babies have died because of the umbilical cord being around their neck. They come out and then they're unable to breathe, and then they have to try and resuscitate. They are not able to resuscitate. But he came out, the umbilical cord was around his neck, came off, and he was perfectly fine. And to God be the glory, we have our miracle.
And I wanted to share this because I probably wouldn't have shared this in general anyway, but the main reason I wanted to share this part, which I feel like it's such a big testimony, is the fact that trust your body. If you feel any type of way that, oh, I'm not feeling these kicks like I used to, look, we're all paying our taxes. Well, I hope we are. We're all paying our taxes and stuff, and that's what the NHS is there. They're there to aid us. They're there to help us. And although we might not always get the best service, I mean, I shouldn't say this because I actually work for the NHS. But like, if you feel any sort of way, anything wrong with your pregnancy, I'd rather someone go in 10 times, 50 times, and they find you a nuisance, rather than feel like you're being a bother. Because I felt like I was being a bother, and especially as a black woman, sometimes you are taught to be strong, you know, and not to be a burden and be independent. And I'm definitely that kind of, I'm independent, I'm good, like, you know, we're good, everything is cool. But like, this really taught me that, wow, like I followed my instincts and went in, and even though I felt like I was being a bother, I still went in to get checked. And so if you feel any type of way about your baby and you're pregnant, just go in and get checked, because having him the next day literally just proved to me in a way that his reduced movements from the night before was like legit. I don't know, like maybe that's why because maybe he had reduced movements because he had the cord around his neck 3 times, which is scary because not every baby comes out and survives from having the cord around their neck. So I'm just so grateful that he's here, and he really is a miracle, and I just thank God. And even though he came like 3 weeks and a bit early, I'm just so grateful that he came when he did, because I know I wanted baby to come early because I was tired and stuff, I mean, but not that early. But yeah, I'm just grateful that he came when he did, and God was like, this is the appointed time that you come in with, even with 3 cords around your neck. So I'm literally here to say, but guys, if you feel any type of way about your pregnancy, go in 50 times and yeah, get checked out. and also like thanking God because it's a miracle and it's a testimony, because I can't even imagine what the other side would be like. But yeah, that's our birth and delivery story. And from start, even though they put on my notes that it took me 4 hours 10 minutes, you know, they put that on my notes.
4 hours 10 minutes for what?
For my birth, like labor.
I think maybe from when you called.
Yeah, but even
was
from when I
5:30. Oh, maybe
I came to tell you I thought
they left and you delivered the placenta and all that stuff, the whole thing.
Oh yeah, the placenta.
So
Yes,
Nana called them 5:30 something. I think it was completely done after that.
I came to you at 5:30 before I called them.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, what's the time?
So you called them maybe at like 6.
Yeah.
And they were done doing all their stuff, you delivering the placenta at like 10.
Oh, okay, that's true.
So that's when they...
At 10, no.
At 10 is probably when they now moved us from that room into the other side.
So, yeah, but basically to delivering him without the placenta, it was all about 3 hours. So I'm so grateful because if you've been watching my Instagram or my updates, you know, we did a lot of hypnobirthing. I read there was supernatural childbirth and all these things, so I was praying about it and stuff like that, and I really felt like God heard my prayer and everything was so quick. So I am grateful. If you haven't watched my videos, go and watch them.
So yeah,
they're quite helpful. Well,
I think we got in there. The midwife was with us for 25 minutes. And
yeah, she was like, that was quick. You basically, from the time you got here and had him, it was 25 minutes. I wish you all speedy deliveries in
pray
Jesus'
about
name.
it, because that's something that I was in my head.
Prayed about it. And
in my head, I said I can't do that whole 9-hour thing again.
Yeah, it was long.
Being in there, so at some points I didn't know what to do. Nana was even getting annoyed with me because I was on my phone, like because with Nathaniel. I was on my phone looking at, what is it called, reading manga, and she got upset.
Yeah, because I'm here in pain and you're just chilling. No, thank you.
Couldn't do anything. With Nathaniel, you know, when Nana was on gas in there, I think this is one thing. When she was on gas in there, she would be like, she's literally knocked out. I couldn't have a conversation with anyone.
This time the gas in there was even more beautiful. I literally was like, let the pain go.
Proper giving people drugs. Anyways, guys.
It was amazing, but yeah. And I had him without the extra, because with Nathaniel I had a bit of morphine. This time I had nothing. Yeah. Well, I just had the gas in there. So, but if we didn't get to the hospital, I would have had him. Oh, child, nah, I needed that gas in there. But yeah, that's our birth and delivery story. I don't know if we probably have missed bits out, so I can't remember. But yeah, thank God for our bundle of joy, Nessaya, which means miracle of God, because he really was a miracle of God. Yeah, and that's the end of our story.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell button. And what else is there?
Yeah, and keep following us, guys. So we'll
more to come. Now we have 2 people to show off, and we have to redo our theme tune.
Well, yeah, anyway, yeah.
We need to do that. Oh, he's smiling. Okay, he stopped it.
Yeah.
Are you gonna smile for us?
And now we're a family of 4, and we're excited.
Family of 4, we're excited.
And he's doing up for you, so we're gonna go now. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. And keep up for updates with our new family of 4. Bye, guys.
Bye.
It's Nyasha and